What's going on YouTube? JT's Reborn here. Welcome to another edition of my DC comic book reviews, and this time we're going to be talking about issue number 45 of Deathstroke, Year of the Villain, the offer. Another one that kind of ties into the Year of the Villain angle, and this one also deals with the fallout of the previous issue where they had Deathstroke's funeral. At least I think it was the previous issue. I'm kind of losing track at this point, but it was the last issue of the issue before it. But whatever, Deathstroke died not too long ago. And, yeah, they buried his body, blah, 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 blah. So now somebody new is under the Deathstroke mantle, and we'll find out who it is. But anyway, so let's go ahead and do what we normally do, read the information. In the wake of Slade Wilson's death, a new Deathstroke has vowed to complete his last unfinished assignment. But the master assassin, Shado, has plans of her own, looking to step in for the late, great, world's greatest assassin, and usurp his place in the villainous hierarchy. Meanwhile, Rose Wilson discovers the identity of the person responsible for her father's death. Can her brother Jericho stop her from seeking vengeance? Also in this issue, Slade Wilson's son Jericho accepts Lex Luthor's offer of power, but he's determined to use it as a force for good. So why is Lex smiling? It's kind of somewhat what happens in the issue. Some of those descriptions are kind of like their initial pitch, but things kind of change a bit. So, yes. So we have Deathstroke here. Turns out, so-and-so, Rose Wilson, is out fulfilling his final contract, which we see here. She learns of that Emiko Queen was the one who killed Slade in the first place, and she's pissed off. She wants to fulfill his final contract, and then she wants to go after the Teen Titans themselves. We also got Jericho doing stuff with his husband, or fiance, or whatever. Yeah, so Shado does a kill here. She talks about how I would have indeed have left Lovac to did instead, kept you intact with your humanity. It's kind of about the concept. This may explain Emiko's actions in the previous issue. So Shado explains to Rose, because Rose isn't really the killing type, not like her father. I would indeed have left Lovac to you. Instead, I leave you a gift, your humanity. She's trying to keep her humanity intact. So it's kind of confusing about what's going on, because when some of the stuff goes on in these books, like the Deathstroke books in particular, there's so many different like layers and angles, and things are never fully linear. Like they'll reference things for like 20 issues ago, so you'll be back like, I don't remember that. So you have to keep going through your issues like, shoot, what do they mean by that? And it's kind of tough to keep up with some of the stuff, but this one is a little bit more linear, straightforward. Because like I said in previous videos, Christopher Priest likes to layer his stories very non-linear, which is a unique writing style. So I appreciate the difference sometimes, but sometimes I like a linear thing. Sometimes I kind of like the puzzle solving bits of like, okay, this is kind of going this piece here, and things are kind of brought back together. So if you read it continuously, like one loop, it's a lot easier. But if you like wait a month or so in between reading issues, the confusion starts to brew up. But then again, like that's kind of on the reader's fault for that necessarily. But I'm just saying in general. So yes, so Rose is there. Deathstroke was a worthy competitor. I regret my daughter's impulsivity. Your brother should have sent her to her ancestors. Yeah, like Shado, I don't get why Shado is so hell-bent on killing Emiko. I don't understand this, because Shado, like, the one thing she seemed to care about beforehand was her daughter. Like, she would do all these sorts of things, but, like, her daughter was, like, her world. Like, you see this in Green Arrow. There's something going on with some of these characters where it's just, like, Emiko in particular, she feels very different since she joined the Teen Titans on this version, as opposed to where she was like pre the Teen Titans special that came out not too long ago. Speaking of which, I think I should go back and review like all the other Teen Titans in the Rebirth era run that I never really did. But yeah, I really don't understand why she's kind of at this point right now. I don't know why she's so hell-bent on like her daughter dying and stuff. But yeah. So there's some good drama here. Rose comes face to face with her brother, and she's pissed. She's angry. Joseph is just like, look, they're just kids. We don't know exactly all that would happen. Pop kind of brought this on himself, whereas the last issue, Jericho was kind of freaking out about the whole situation. He's trying to stop Rose from going down the path of Deathstroke, becoming a ruthless killer. And Rose is on the warpath. Jericho's like, I killed my father. Look, this is on me. Just don't go after the kids. But Rose is just so hell-bent on like getting revenge for her father's death. Vengeance. The Wilson. There's some really good drama and tension going on in like the back half of this issue, especially between Rose and Jericho. That's what I really like sometimes about the Deathstroke family, is there's a lot of complicated layers to it, and Priest does a good job writing the Deathstroke stuff. Not everything. When he brings in like Damian and that into it, that's usually kind of where it falters a bit for me personally, because I don't like how he's kind of handling that character. But Yeah, this one in particular, with the Wilson family, I think he does an exceptional job with them in general. But yeah, so there's some good drama going here. Jericho's pretty much taken out. Rose is kind of going off her own thing. He's asking his mom, Adeline Kane, for help. Then we get another like Lex Luthor, you're the villain offer to bring him on his team, and he wants to join the Legion of Doom. So basic stuff like that goes on in this issue. Like I said, the Year of the Villain thing's kind of coming up. I don't like we got this and like the Event Leviathan thing going on at the same time, and I'm kind of confused by it all. I'm like, are they like the same thing or not? I really have to go back and kind of read some of these things. But like I said in my Teen Titans video I recorded today as well, DC Comics in general, I've kind of just lost interest in a lot of the titles. It's just the books just aren't as good as they should be, especially compared to where they were like a year and a half ago. During the golden rebirth resurgence, as I like to call it, pre-Justice League No Justice. That's when it was like they were just hitting everything out of the park at that point. Jeff Johns was still kind of in charge of the comic division. Like, he didn't like step down from his position. Jeff Johns should have stayed away from the movies. Like, he should have, if he would have just stayed away from the Justice League movie, stuck to where, like, in charge of the comics division, keep the control away from Dideo, I think we would be better off. He should just kind of stick to where he was with that. Like I said, Doomsday Clock, that thing just keeps getting delayed again and again and again, and it's so annoying at this point, because I think it's like, is it coming out next month, or is it coming out in September? I don't know. Like, these issues just take too long to get done, and I just don't know where we're at in that storyline. Like, the Doomsday Clock storyline doesn't seem to really matter anymore. If this is all just kind of leading directly into Doomsday Clock, that would be fine. I think that's maybe why they're delaying it so much, is because, like, okay, we want to tell these stories, and then they all just tie back into the start of Doomsday Clock, then you go back through and you get the entirety of Doomsday Clock, and then you get to the end of Doomsday Clock, which, if it ever reaches the end, that book has taken so long to finish. Like, that thing started, like, 2 years ago, just trying to, like, for more than 2 years ago, I think, like, 2.5 years ago, I think, was it, like, 2018, 2017 they were starting to release those issues? I don't know, but it's taking such a long time to get that done. But yeah, so Year of the Villain, issue 45. I like the issue. I like the drama between Rose and Jericho in particular. There's a lot of, like I said, interesting layers and like different angles of the whole situation. Priest is, I got to give him props, credits where credits due. He writes a hell of a Deathstroke run. Minus the stuff where he included, minus the Batman vs. Deathstroke storyline. I thought that was just bad all around. But I for the most part, when he's writing the Deathstroke, just simply the Wilson family themselves, I think he does a good job. So yeah, what are your thoughts on Deathstroke issue 45? What do you think this whole Year of the Villain, the offer thing? I really have to go back in and start reading and getting really back in and versed back in the comics again, because I was just losing interest in a lot of the stuff. I just couldn't keep up anymore. I was just like, I just didn't have the energy or enthusiasm. Like with the Superman books, with Action Comics, like as Bendis' stuff, I wasn't really enjoying too much. But I really want to try and get my excitement back again. I could just go back and start rereading things from like a year ago and just really dive right back into the lore again some more. And I think that's what I kind of do for Year of the Villain, and keep up with Deathstroke books and keep up with the Teen Titans stuff. I kind of want to go back and reread the start of the current Teen Titans run with Glass again, just to kind of as a bit of a refresher, because it has been a while since I read some of those other issues. And same with the Deathstroke stuff, because they reference stuff from like so many issues ago, and I'm just like, I don't remember that storyline. I read it all. I own every issue of the Deathstroke thing digitally, of course. Some of the ones with the crossovers I got physical copies, but yeah, I really need to kind of get back in and take a look at some of those other things again. So, but yeah, I'm getting kind of off track. Deathstroke 45. Like I said, when I talk comics, like I try to just kind of ramble on and on and on, and just kind of talk, blah 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 blah. So yeah, what are your thoughts on Deathstroke issue 45? Did you like this issue? Do you like the fact that Rose Wilson is the new Deathstroke? I like that angle. I think that's going to be some interesting stuff to explore. She's going after Emiko Queen. I don't know if they're going to cross back over to the Teen Titans. I did read a spoiler in the solicitations that Slade Wilson apparently is coming back. I kind of figured they wouldn't keep him dead for long, but if he comes back, like, what does that all mean? So, yeah, so it's going to be fun. I hope it's good. We only got a couple issues left till issue 50 of Deathstroke, so that should be good. This Year of the Villain stuff, I got to keep up with some more. But it's just, I was just kind of losing interest in a lot of stuff with DC Comics. But hey, if they put out better content, I'd be invested into it more. But I'm going to try and give it a chance. I'm going to go back and reread some stuff, just kind of refresh myself on a lot of the titles. And hopefully then with this Year of the Villain stuff, when that kind of comes into fruition, I'll enjoy it some more. So yeah, like I said, let me know in the comments what you thought of issue 45. And we'll talk about this stuff some more when you get the chance. So thanks so much for watching. Have a nice day. And I will see you next time on the next batch of DC comic book reviews. Alright, that's it. Take care now. Bye-bye then. Peace.